Oh my gosh. Have you guys seen the drama on freaking about Kick and Drake on Twitter?
Oh my God.
No.
The entitlement that people have just blows my effing mind, dude.
Yeah, it's
Wait, was that
ridiculous.
really long post about like people threatening to like quit streaming because people won't give subs and all that stuff?
Yeah, so okay, so basically what happened was they Kick announced that Drake was going to do live stream, they do some gambling stream or whatever, and he was going to gift like 20K worth of subs out to just random streamers.
Yeah, like 100 subs a piece.
Yeah. So basically what happened was some streamers they chose were, they weren't the 1 to 2 viewer streamers, you know what I'm saying? There were maybe 100 or a couple hundred or something. They're still small streamers. But they got gifted subs, and instead of people being happy for other people, there's a lot of like streamers that got on and just started bitching about it, how it's not fair. There's small streamers that work hard, blah, 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 blah. And they were being completely just self-centered and asshole-ish about it.
It was ridiculous is what it was. Like cool 100 subs or whatever. And then the dude that got raided by Dre was the worst.
The worst about what?
Like he got shit on so bad.
Oh, Big E, yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And that guy's been grinding. He's been working his butt off to get where he's at, and like he's still a small
Big E
streamer.
Rob?
No, Big E.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was ridiculous. It was just
Yeah.
It's one of those like be thankful for what you got. You know what I'm saying?
Like, dude, really? Are you really gonna have like a sour ass about you didn't get gifted subs, or you think someone else deserves it more? Like, really? It ain't your money, dude.
Yeah.
I
Be
saw
grateful.
something about that, but I think it was a different situation, but it was somebody that had posted screenshots about how these people that like they're basically like supporters, right? And they're usually gifting subs, and then whenever they don't, these people are like messaging them offline, like having a conniption fit about it and everything, and like even like saying really offensive stuff to them, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
calling them names and all kinds of stuff. Like that's what I was seeing, but I don't know if it's related to that or not.
No, that one's not necessarily, but the thing about it is I've seen a lot of stuff like that. Like, and somebody made a good point. Blue Thunder actually made a very good point. He's like, if you have to rely on gifted subs to make a living, you're not doing this right.
Yeah.
Love you too, Marley.
But yeah, like that's and he's got a very good point. Like, yes, gifted subs are great, but if you want to establish a community, you have got to keep those monthly subs coming in.
Yeah.
And you've got to get those consistent.
Well, I think I like what we're doing with this here right now. Like we're starting this small, right? From the ground up. Granted, we all have our friends and community that everybody comes together, and supports. But from the ground up, like we're putting out one podcast a week. We put up a short. We've posted the podcast to YouTube, got it up on Spotify. So like we're branching it out, and I'm gonna try to add another platform. But I think that's like the right way to do it, because the stream itself is 3 hours. So now we got to figure out like chopping that up into bits and putting additional content out there like YouTube and Spotify, because that's how you bring people in. But I think a lot of people get caught up in just streaming for 12 hours, and well, that's fine every now and again, but man, that's an effing grind,
Well, I mean, the thing about it is no matter what streaming platform that you have, there is zero discoverability no matter what. Like, no platform has a good discovery for, the smaller guys. And when I say smaller, I'm talking people less than 20 viewers. Consistent. There's still nothing there for the 20 and below. So you have got to branch out to those other ways to be able to up what you're going to see consistently on stream, and that's where you're going to stay with that consistency. Once you get that consistency is when everything starts to grow.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, man. That you bring all those people to your live, eventually.
Yep, you start with the other platforms.
Have we thought about Instagram? I mean, that's I use that on my business side, but Instagram can be pretty
I think so too. I have a love-hate with Instagram right now because it's probably just personal and I shouldn't take it personally, but Instagram,
I don't even have one.
I used to post shorts, or what are they, reels on Instagram?
Reels.
Yeah.
And I was getting like thousands of views on every freaking video. I have one that has 750K on it. Like, these are the same ones I was posting on TikTok and stuff. And they were doing super well. Followers are coming in. And then all of a sudden one day I just got shit on. Like, now if I post one, I get like luckily 120 views. It's the same style of content. It's the same, comedic meme type relief. I didn't change like the method that I did it. The times I posted, nothing. And it just shit on me all of a sudden one day. And I
Instagram's
posted
a tricky thing.
Yeah. I posted several times after that, and same thing, just crapped on with the views. I'm like, what the hell happened? Where I was getting pushed hard, and then all of a sudden it got cut off at the knees.
The problem is with Instagram, because I have to do a lot of research on this because that's my primary platform for marketing for my business, is they're constantly changing the primary type of content that they're pushing out to more viewers and stuff, because there's so many other platforms that they're trying to, they're trying to compete with all of it. I literally had there's somebody I follow. I absolutely love them. And she posted something not too long ago, and she was like, "Stop fucking creating content you don't like," because so many people in like the entrepreneur area of where I'm hanging out a lot, is we were all kind of creating content because it's what we thought the algorithm wanted, and it was just kind of getting really. It sucked because we were all we didn't like what we were creating. It took all the fun out of it. If it was even fun for you to begin with, it took even more fun out of it. And so just like, stop creating content you don't like, to beat the algorithm or whatever. Just keep being consistent, and eventually it will pay off. And it works for them. I mean, I haven't been able to do it, but more power to them. But it was a good article because it was all about that whole chasing the algorithm, which you could really apply to any platform.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, but every platform pushes different things.
Right.
On
but
what
that's
they
why
think
all
is great.
Changing so much, because they're like, oh, this one's doing this and this one's doing that. Let's push long form content. Now let's push short form content. Now let's push reels. Now let's push portrait versus square. It's all the different. It's constantly changing.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead. Sorry.
Well, Jay said something about, man, consistency without the views is tough. Jay, I was there once. And the thing about me is editing defeats me. Like, I need to learn how to edit. I need to hit the ground and do it, but just, work, all that stuff is just really hard to dedicate something to it, and I know I got to carve out the time and all that stuff. Like, I know what I need to do. But anyway, I hired a fucking editor. That's what I did. And I posted every day, and in 30 days I grew 1,500 followers. But I stayed consistent at it, and what that did is eventually it actually added for 2 months I watched it, and my average viewership actually went up by 2.5 people. And that's not much, but out of 1,000 followers on a whole nother platform to bring in, I say that's all right. And my stuff wasn't the greatest content out there or whatever, but I was getting some consistent views, and those views were actually converting into follows. And that's what you got to stick to. Like, I'm the world's worst. I'll stream, I'll get tunnel vision into the game that I'm playing, and I'll, look at chat when I get a chance, where I need to flop that and be more engaged with chat than I do with the actual game. And that right there, that one little piece right there will start to kind of grow you.
Mm-hmm.
It will.
It's tough to see the translation sometimes, though. I know I was doing TikToks probably every other day for a while, and they were doing really well. in my opinion. I was laughing at them, so I figured if I'm laughing at it, then if I'm having a good time watching that, maybe somebody else will too. But I did also notice a little bit of more of an average viewership over on Twitch. Probably somewhere around the same, but I think it was, people that followed, and then was like, oh man, what am I missing out on? So they'd come and like hang out in the stream more often than before. So
See, I
And
get
that's where
more
that-
engagement or more viewership, I should say, on TikTok, but the content that I'm posting on TikTok is completely different because I don't use my TikTok strictly for business. I use TikTok as more of the social behind the scenes aspect of my life.
yeah,
And it's funny because even on my on my Wolf and Willow TikTok, Instagram, the reels that get the most views for me involve wine. Every time I make a wine reel or about drinking or something like that, those are the reels that do the best. And it's on my business account. But for some reason, that's the ones people like the most.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like the TikTok ones or whatever. She would kind of do the. She would take the popular stuff, but then change it to how that interacts with our life, because that's kind of the behind the scenes of our life is what that TikTok was.
yeah.
And they would do really well.
Mm-hmm.
Because a while back, you remember that one where it was talking about, you want a freaking blonde, 5'7" blonde hair, blue eye, all that bullshit, right, or whatever.
Yeah, you guys, that viral one. That was,
And then what she did is, in the transition, she did 404 user not found, and that one did really, really well because you got the people looking for it. They're like, and probably a bunch of pervs, but whatever, you get where's they're working up to it, and then boom, 404 user not found, and it's just, I thought that was the funniest thing ever. But how she translated it and the creativeness that she has it was hilarious.
I've just not been creating content lately. I've just been one thing after another.
it takes a lot of time to do it.
It does.
It really, like, I've spent the one video, you guys probably all seen it, the one where I cut in the dildos instead of the Cali sticks from the
Cali
Call
sticks.
of Duty clip.
Greatest.
People love that
nostalgia
video,
clip.
but I had to do that frame by frame,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I had to do it 3 times over because it's layers of video. So I had to cut each thing out frame by frame, and the thing's 15 seconds long. That video took me about 15 hours to make.
Yep.
That's a lot of time. And
Well,
it was hilarious, but like, that's a lot of time,
Well, can I put in a shameless plug real quick
Do it.
for the wife or whatever,
Shameless
because she's been
Plug it.
working her fucking ass off at this business, and then the biggest creator on the platform that the website she designs on, she made the top 12 finals for one of their templates.
So dope.
It was a contest that they
awesome.
did.
Is it still going? Because I went over there and did the vote thing or whatever.
It is
I know
still
that was-
going,
Yeah,
yes.
I think the votes closed or are closing this weekend or something like that. I think
Okay.
they're supposed to announce the winner tomorrow. So
You got if you could put the link in the chat, dude.
I'll go find it real quick.
say he can probably find it. Yeah, it was one of those things like it's and this kind of goes into what I was gonna say something or talk about something Jay said earlier too, because it's kind of in the same vein. IG is more motivational now versus funny and such, which TikTok is, which is somewhat true. I would say a lot of Instagram content creation is more business and entrepreneurship focused. Not that there's not
Yeah.
other things, but that's definitely the primary, which is why it's my primary marketing platform. Whereas TikTok is kind of more a catch-all for anything, particularly just fun content creation. But yeah, what I like about Instagram is the in our circles, there's a lot of community over competition kind of thing. And even though this company makes and sells some of the same things I do, they have a really, really big supportive community, and they're always about lifting other people up. And so, and I love working. Other clients will hire me to work with their templates, so I'm familiar with working with their stuff and everything. And so,
Yeah.
they had this contest, and I was like, oh, that'd be fun. They're giving out $500 for it or whatever, but it was just a lot of fun to be in like just a little small community of people all kind of doing the same thing. And like I looked at their designs too, and I'm like, damn, why didn't I think of that? You know, like, I wish I had designed some of those.
There it is.
I'm tiny. I am not as tiny as I used to be, Jay.
Definitely, guys, go on that link and make sure you comment on that post for Ash.
You need to. Here, I'll tell you what to tag.
But go look at the other designs too, because there's some other really great designers out there that made some great stuff. So
That's what you need to do on that. Oh wait, I typed it wrong.
not Will.
Delete
No.
that. Delete that.
Wilf. All right, deleted. Got you.
Will.
There we go.
He was thinking.
What is that? Wilf? Milf?
I was gonna say. I think we just changed mom to woman.
Yeah.
Oh wait, my phone is still on. Fuck.
They were all very plain.
It's
but
okay
I have
to
to
be
be
biased.
biased. It's okay.
It's okay.
I just wanted it to be fair because Tuna was like, I'm going to run around my office and steal people's phones. I'm like, I do not want to spam this contest and make it unfair just because I have, friends. That's,
Well, I didn't have enough time to go steal people's phones.
Let's be honest. All votes for that.
Oh,
Just
I
put all
know.
the content.
No, I had
And
to
that's
rush.
what I
I had to
told-
rush home.
I told him that too because there's a lot of the designers have more followers on Instagram than I do. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I probably won't win because a lot of them just have a bigger following than I do. But what was great is all of us, instead of going on our own Instagrams and being like, go vote for me, we were like, hey, here's the link, go vote for your favorite. Because ultimately that's what we all wanted everybody to do. And you still got exposure regardless. So, I in fact, I've had one potential client book a call with me just from that contest. So that's a win.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
So
W.
when we went to
Mhm.
when we went to Arizona for that conference that she had for the platform she designs on or whatever, like
Love you.
that
fam.
that whole community in general, I wish every single that it's relayed to life. I wish that we could copy and paste that, put that into society today.
Mhm.
Instead of bringing everybody down, everybody was bringing each other up. Like they would do
And we all do the same thing.
yeah, and they all do the same thing. They're all competing with each other, but they're doing all doing the same stuff.
Well,
Like the owner of this
Yeah.
competition, she literally loved Ashley's template customization that she did for another client.
I think it's okay in a lot of spheres like that. That one, even this streaming one, to lift people up and to recognize like quality. You know what I mean? When someone's putting some quality stuff out there, it's okay to recognize it, even though you do the same thing.
Yeah.
There's,
I think
there's more than enough to go around. There really is.
that's one of the things that we say in our community a lot is there's room at the table for everybody. And that's because we recognize the good ones anyway. We recognize that I am not for everyone, just like you are not for everyone, and so it's like we all have our own type of people that we attract and that we are better suited to work with. And if I'm not the right person, then hey, I know another designer who's really great that I think you would connect better with. And so that's why it's like, but a lot of people, especially when they're first starting out, they're just hungry for everything because they have, they need every little bit they can get. And what happens, especially in the entrepreneur community, is they'll take on nightmare clients that they do not have any interest or desire in working with, but they'll do it anyway just because. And then once you kind of get more established, you realize, okay, it's okay to turn away work. It's okay to be like, you know what, I don't think we're a good fit, but I've got a referral network of people I can send you to. It's the same thing with streamers, right? If they come to your stream, it's okay if some people do not want to watch your stream because ultimately you only want the people that are your people coming to your stream and watching. And it's the same thing in the business community. So and that's why I think all of us were kind of like, I know that my style is not the same as her style, and maybe her style is really more of what you're looking for. So we're able to support each other in a way. But it's really cool. I love it.
Yeah, I feel like the local fight community and jiu-jitsu community is the same way. Like gyms will work together. They'll one gym will come work out with the other gym for a month or so, and then go to a different one. And there's no like, oh no, you're going to be fighting those people. in the future. Like, no, we welcome that, you know.
Yeah. They can't take everyone. I mean, if one gym took every single person, that there's
Yeah.
no way it wouldn't work. So you almost have to have that, ability to spread and share.
Well, but even coaching styles are different, in that aspect. You may learn in one side, learning, there's so many different ways to learn. Like Ashley, she'll read something and she'll be able to apply it. And I'm like, I'm reading something and I'm like,
He's asleep.
I'm racked out. But yet whenever she'll read it and then she'll help me out with it and then boom, I'm good to go.
To read it.
Yeah, I have zero reading comprehension. Like, I have to read something 5-6 times to actually comprehend what it's saying.
Yeah, he's verbal. I had to, even with his testing, in the military, I had to, I finally, for tech, took his books, his CDCs and everything, and I read them to him. We sat down and I read through them, and then I read them to him, and I had to create questions out of the material for him. And that's how he... So I know so much more about being a cop than most wives do, because I've literally had to go through and learn all of his material to teach it back to him.
That's how I am too.
But I mean, and Skep, you can, and AG and Ash, we can kind of correlate that because we all fuck with each other, because we fuck with her because she's an officer. But the rest, we all sit there. Yeah, we all shit talk each other, right? All the time. But yet we all have specific jobs to do, and when you get a bunch of different branches around each other, guess what? You can actually get a lot of shit done because you get a different demographic of cultures together, from different services, and it's actually scary what can happen when that happens.
It's diversity that causes that. So you have all these different patterns of thought from people that do things certain ways. And when you put it all together, generally, you can come up with the best way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. As long as everybody's receptive.
Well, I mean,
each is a finger together, they can form a fist.
There you go.
I like.
What'd you say, AG? What kind of plug did you put in?
Except for the Air Force.
Yeah,
they're too busy having they're too busy having their manservants do everything for them.
Okay. I will say this. Okay. So in the Navy, all militaries have instructions, right? They have standard operating procedures. So I went to Ellsworth Air Force Base. And I like it over there. It's kind of nice. South Dakota. Beautiful. Rapid City, all that shit. Anyway, we didn't have ability or instruction from the Air Force to be able to do a hot refuel on a plane, which basically is just a plane with an engine turning, and you refuel it while it's turning so it can take right back off.
A hot pit.
Hot pit, yeah. So what we had to do is all of us came together, everybody. I mean, there was 05s, 04s, their little secretaries and everybody with them in this big auditorium. And basically just, it was a meeting of the minds. We put procedures together, our side, their side, and the amount of manpower that was thrown into it. And 3 days later, we had an amazing product, and it was signed off, ready to go, and we could operate. In the Navy, shit like that takes months to get done.
Bureaucratic red tape.
Dude, I'm telling you what, man, they put so much manpower on it, and they wanted it done, and wanted it done right. And we had a little E4 up there, airmen just fucking typing away on a PDF, just and everybody's throwing their stuff out there, and it just came together so well, man. I think the base commander, I think he was a full bird or something. He was in there for a moment, saying, you're in charge of this, you have the overall oversight of this. And I mean, it was fantastic how well it worked. That was the best experience I've had, administratively sitting down and figuring something like that out. It is dangerous. And there's a lot of red tape to cut through, and we managed to get it done in 3 freaking days.
If that was us in the Army, combat arms, it would be oh, you might die, shut the fuck up. Go.
Yeah.
That's what it would have been. That's
You're like-
exactly how it would have went.
Yeah.
The sergeant major would have been like, "Stop being a pussy."
Get on with it, grunt.
What I've seen though, AG, is like, being deployed with the army guys, because like I know the culture around the army or whatever. It's very rank structured.
Ranks, yes.
It like
The Navy
very
is
very
like that too, though, right? Especially between enlisted and officer.
Yes,
is
at certain levels.
Absolutely
Oh, okay.
extremely ranked structure here. Or was
Yeah.
in the army.
I didn't
I
realize
mean-
the Army was. I always knew the Navy was.
the one thing that I've learned about the army or whatever is I don't care who you are in the military. If you're a sergeant major, they're scared of you.
Yeah. So
Like no matter what rank either.
in the Navy, E7 through E9, all first name basis. They're all the chiefs, and you can attest to that, Tina. Like,
Yeah.
they're all first name basis because they're more like a family than anything else.
Yeah.
But
It's
like
like that
not-
in like the CGO community.
the
That's
separation,
not happening in the army.
the separation between them and like E6 and below or officers mess
Mhm.
is pretty stark in contrast. It is until you get to like my level where I'm the, what do you call you, sergeant major in the army. Is
Yep.
it?
E8,
Yeah. So that's an E8. So I'm
E9,
at E9.
E9,
So you're a chief for us.
Yeah.
E9
so
sergeant major.
I'm the
E8
chief.
is
Like chief master
first
sergeant.
sergeant.
Yep.
Mhm.
Chief master sergeant, I believe, is the
That's
Air
the
Force, right?
It's E9. Yep.
Yeah. So like me, I work closely with 05s, 06s. I'm on a
Right.
first name basis with them because of
Interesting.
that level. It's strange and it's a little weird to get over. Like it's a little awkward still because I'm like, hey, so and so.
Yeah, we don't have that in the Air Force.
Yeah, they call me by first name so all the time. So,
In the army, it's still sir or sergeant major.
yeah.
Well, and see, for
use
us, it only went down. So officers could be first name basis with the E8s and the E9s, but the E8s and the E9s do not do the
Yeah.
same with officers. That's not how it was for us anyway.
And that happens in the Navy too. Like that definitely happens in the Navy where you don't reciprocate that. You accept
Mhm.
that, hey, they're being friendly with you, but you
Right.
better maintain professionalism.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
yeah,
weird.
and but it's also a time and a place. When you're around those guys, like all of them or whatever, you can get away with more than if you have like a lower enlisted there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I would never call my CO by his first name in front of anyone other than my executive officer.
Yeah. Well, and for us, like for me, it just puts more of a personal aspect into it.
Yeah.
And with the way that everybody is nowadays or whatever, they're like, you just call me by my first name, and I'm like, yeah, like it's more personal whenever you say it like that, and people actually are a little more receptive when you're talking to them, and you call them by their government name.
So Jay says that he I think he feels differently. He says parents that call him by his first name instantly don't want to engage them. So you don't like being on the first name basis with like the parents of your kids?
You know what's crazy is all my daughter's teachers growing up, I always referred to them to Mr., Miss, Ms., Mrs.
Yep.
And their last
Yeah, I
name
did
all the
too.
time out of respect.
Yep,
I did too.
same
Oh,
way.
first contact. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can see that. Like I don't sit there immediately, and go up to somebody and immediately call them by their first name.
Because I would guess, Jay, you probably introduce yourself as your, last name, and then they probably introduce themselves. I think you kind of go off of that, right? Like, how do you introduce yourself? Like,
Yep.
Hi, I'm Mr. or Mrs. So and so.
I'm Mr.
Or-
Naughty.
Yeah.
See, I would always say just my first name.
Yeah.
I'm Ashley Piper's mom or something like that. I don't know. But I still, even in 5 years, had trouble getting used to the whole ma'am thing. That was weird for me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even today, like whenever we have like a new commander, or we're like doing immersion or something like that, or whatever. Like that person has 2 eyes. They can see the rank that's on my chest.
Yeah.
You know, so I won't even say my rank. I'll just say my first and my last name. That's how I'll introduce myself and get my handshake. You know what I'm saying? Because they can see that part. You know, and then that right there to me, it gives them that out on what they want. You know, how they want to address me by, because I don't care. Guess what? You outrank me. You can do whatever you want. I'm gonna say yes, sir. You know. Now, the one thing that does weird me out is the pilots.
Yeah.
Pilots want to be addressed by their call sign.
Yeah, it's always the call sign.
Dude,
that was the weirdest thing for me.
I have some great call
I'm Red
signs.
Rooster. Nice to meet you.
Red Rooster.
Red Rooster or Red Rocket?
He's a Red Rocket. Red lipstick.
Oh gosh.
Rebel's over here in the corner.
I never had a call sign. I always wanted
It puts
one.
the lotion on its skin.
I think
American Rebel was my handle on CB.
Rebel. We call you Rebel though.
Yeah.
We Army guy. We call him AG because we're too lazy to say Army guy.
Facts. Well, but I mean, we have to make an
acronym out of everything. Like
I think Cam did that one. I think that's Cam. She calls everyone by an acronym.
AG, now that you have a camera, you need to go get a green suit.
A green suit.
And become an army guy. One of those little army guys.
Buy an army guy like Halloween costume.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. October 31st. That's happening. I'll send it to you if I have to.
I'll find one.
That means you have to dress up as Bumblebee.
And mine is weird though. Mine's weird though.
No, the Transformer itself. Because he can't. I mean, how he's going to be the car?
Wuggy.
I don't know. Mine's got that innuendo in it. Like 3 different ones. Because my logo is a Bumblebee that's in a Transformer. But the name is Ace Ventura.
Yeah. You know, I saw that the other day. There's on TikTok, they're showing like AI enhanced, or they just boost the quality of Ace Ventura, but with AI, and it looks incredible. But this Bumblebee tuna clip was one of the videos I saw.
Wait, they did an AI enhancement of that?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen that.
It
either.
looks so good too.
You should pull it up. Can you pull it up?
Crisp.
Yeah, you should try to find it and pull it up. Like that would be.
We finally watched that movie with our 10-year-old the other day, and she was, oh my god!
Which movie?
Ace Ventura.
We watched When Nature Calls. Yeah,
that's my favorite one, and her favorite scene was my favorite scene. It's from when he walks in and plays with the food. He's got the asparagus on his teeth. And then he does the puppets, the shadow puppets. Yeah. She laughed her ass off at that.
That is like just the top of the comedic movie genre. Like
that's how I feel too.
Those movies in that time are just like the top of the genre. I mean, the whole scene where he's like climbing out of the rhinoceros's ass.
Yeah.
Like what the actual fuck?
Yeah.
JC like Silver.
I love when he's like riding the Jeep and he's like doing this.
Yeah, and then you pan over and the guy's just
chitty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang.
Yeah, and the Jeep's like cruising.
Yeah, Silver. Jason loved that one. Yeah. She laughed her ass off.
Watched a really sad movie.
What's that?
Oh no.
I watched that Man Called Otto.
Oh, is that the Tom Hanks?
Yeah, it's with Tom Hanks.
Oh, I wouldn't want to watch that.
Watching a stream?
You have a lovely room of death.
Hold on.
Here it is.
Let me get it on.
Let me see if I can full screen it too.
Bumblebee tuna? Bumblebee tuna?
I do it.
Let me full screen.
He's got it full screen for you.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Yeah, Liar Liar was good too.
Bumblebee tuna.
There's a couple of them I'm not ready yet to show her. Oh wait. Your balls are showing.
Bumblebee tuna?
They have lived in the same state for thousands of years. They did not know about disease.
It's so good.
Until the
Such a
white
good
man
movie.
Can you imagine that now, post
What's going
COVID?
on over here? Oh, yes. Now, all young Wachati warriors must face 5 days of
shakes
balance and
it.
concentration. Should he lose his focus and fall, he must start all over again. Earthquake test!
With my help, he could be the best.
Could be the best.
Bumblebee tuna?
So
Oh my
good,
God.
dude. So good.
But it's, you see how clear and
It was
HD
clear.
that is.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Chicago.
Yes. That is like the classic. I mean,
And-
those
and then he-
comedies are the best, dude.
And then he takes the fucking, the daughter or whatever, and they start fucking shooting spitballs at the dude.
Yeah. Yes. Dude, I pass go. Dude, I'll collect $200.
Well, did you see all the drama though about them fucking trying to cancel the first Ace
They're
Ventura?
trying to cancel everything because of the trans.
Yeah, but I'm like, bro,
It's
get
fucking-
the fuck over it, bro. It's like Jim Carrey, I think, is one of the greatest comedians of all fucking time, and nobody can tell me otherwise. I'm sorry.
He is. He's one of the best physical comedians
Yeah.
for sure.
Like cinema, movie, comedian, like just fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
They're
like
gonna find a way to
Liar
cancel
Liar was a
or
great movie.
change everything now.
Yeah. I think like comedy needs a pass on all of it, honestly. It needs a pass. Whatever.
Dude, look at Matt.
Which one, Matt Rife?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like I said, though, there's a couple of jokes that go too far for me. Like when he talked about, like, there was one particular, I remember I could sit through some of his jokes, and then he did this one joke, and I was like, okay, I'm done. And it was, he was talking about how there was a cemetery next to a children's hospital or something. He was like, don't put a cemetery by a children's hospital. He's like, put them next to a school. And it was like, okay, that one was too much for me. Like I literally pulled my kid out of school.
Yeah.
So that one was just, I don't know. That one was a little too much for me. But
there's I think kids and that kind of thing is kind of off limits for that.
I agree.
In my opinion, I agree with you in that. That's too much.
Yeah. That was just
Everybody
something
else,
that I was like,
fuck
we don't
'em.
joke about that.
See, I don't feel like he was actually like attacking the kids there or like making fun of the kids. He was making fun of the society. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
everybody, all their countries are making fun of us for.
I mean, the thing about it is, I attest firsthand right here, right? I can tell you right now, the police force across the entire United States needs to focus on training.
Yeah.
Like that's what they need to focus on, like because it is so underwhelmed. It is underwhelming to watch the training that goes on and to see, like it's sad. Like the military police or whatever, we don't get all of the crazy calls on a daily basis like the civilian population does, the civilian police departments do. But yet we have a mandatory 210 hours of training that I have to do a year.
Yeah.
Now, the quality of that training depends on where you're at and who's teaching it, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
And how it's sold or whatever. Civilian PDs don't even have that much that they have to do per year. They don't.
What's the buy-in? You got to have buy-in. Otherwise,
Exactly.
you don't have people.
Well, not only that, though, like you can give training all day long, but no amount of training is ever going to make up for a lack of balls. And like,
This is
let's
true,
just
too.
be honest that there's been situations in some of those cases where they just didn't have any. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
When it came down to it, like when it came down to it, they just
Balls.
didn't
They
have
had
it.
no balls. Yeah.
Do you or
Whether
don't
it was
you?
making a decision, whether it was making a decision or taking actual action yourself, they just lacked the intestinal fortitude. Don't we love those words?
Well, I gotta
That's
say,
intestinal
yeah, people are in certain jobs far in tune with their feelings rather than their training.
Mm-hmm.
Rely on your training, not your feelings.
They should not be in jobs like that.
Yeah.
You can't, like, takes a certain breed to do jobs like that.
Exactly.
It's not just a paycheck, you know. It's you got to actually be in jobs like that.
It's not free school.
I'll go ahead and say it. You can't be a pussy. All right.
Yeah, 1000%.
You can't be a pussy.
People die if you were a pussy. That's just
when I was an instructor, I used to ask one question, like during our introductions and all that stuff. And I'd be like, hey, I got a question for everybody. And I'd be like, do you believe in the saying of you rise to the occasion? And I would have about 95% of the class would raise their hand and be like, yeah, we do. And I'm like, no, you fall to your level of training.
Yes.
If you put 50% into your training, you're only going to be able to output 50%. If you put 110% in, you might get to 95.
Yep. You get
because
in,
you have to rely onto muscle memory.
And I tell everyone that too when we do our annual training when we bring new chiefs into our chiefs mess in the Navy is you get out of it what you put into it. So if you half-ass it, guess what you're getting out of it? Half-ass or less. And you're exactly right, bro. You're exactly right. If you don't fucking put your full effort into it, then you're not going to get that out of it at all. And everyone around you suffers.
And see, I have the balls to admit that there is no amount of thing that is ever going to keep me out from underneath the fucking table. So I know that I do not belong in jobs that require that type of thing because I'm the person under the table.
But yet she joined a job in the military where they carry around a backpack full of cash.
Yes, that because they sent you guys with us.
Yeah, you need somebody with a gun to protect money, that's for sure.
If they gave the money bags, if they gave the finance officers guns, we were fucked. Like, I mean, let's just face it. If we're in a situation, we're in a deployed location, and they decided serious enough to give me a gun, we're done. I mean, we're done. Like,
we do lockdown training too, Jay. That's the crazy thing is we do active shooter training, we do lockdown training, we do remain in place training, all the time. All the time in the military. The whole base does it.
We used to do nuclear drills.
Yeah.
That's even worse, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
Hide under the desk. It'll save you.
Yeah. See, that's me. I'm under the desk.
Put your hands hands behind your head, into your knees, under the desk, kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I went to elementary school in Southern California in San Diego, or I'm sorry, Carlsbad, and that's where I'm from. In California, there's earthquakes all the time. We had earthquake drills, and that's what they have you do. Get under the fucking desk. Get under the desk.
We had tornado drills all the time, and ours was everybody would get in the hallways lined up against the lockers.
Yep. So I did that in Wyoming too. When I started in 6th grade in Wyoming and on, that was what we did. Same thing, man. I was like standard practice.
Yeah.
Jay, I want to answer that, but I'm going to wait till you're on the show to answer some of the questions you have.
See, Cam, I'm smart. I know that I'm only going to be in the way, so I'm just going to hide myself and let the experts do their job.
Jay, I actually have a list of questions to ask you.
The under the desk move means something different to me.
I think Cam was alluding
it
to.
Just means that I am the pussy.
Oh, okay. Hiding. Okay, that's.
Yes,
Wait, are you under my desk?
Okay.
Are you under my desk? Damn.
Don't kick your legs out.
Sorry.
For a guy under the desk means something completely different.
No. I mean, I'm the one hiding.
Good save. I don't understand. The situation is weapon against firearm in the chest.
I want to table this one. I want to table it whenever he gets on here. Like, I literally have a sticky note up ready to go.
Let's talk
we're not
about
talking
that
Monica Lewinsky under
when
the
you
desk.
come on. Yeah, let's talk about it when you come on the show,
Not
Jay.
the under the desk secretary.
Bog says you never half-ass one thing, full ass it. Always full ass it.
Always full ass.
I always make a full ass of myself half the time.
I mean,
It's all right.
either that or he's showing it. One of the two.
This is true. You're not a true friend of mine unless you've seen my ass at least once.
I haven't seen your
Or-
ass.
Or have his balls as his, call thing.
Okay, yes. Cobra does have a picture of my nutsack for every time I call him.
What?
Yes, 1000%.
Okay,
he
I need to
does.
He's like,
know
no, how did this happen?
how did he
like,
get a picture
yeah.
of your nutsack? We need to know this.
Ugh.
Right?
Third episode
Okay.
in a row, we're talking about Tuna's balls.
I was just fixing to say, and this is the part of the.
Not.
Were y'all
show.
comparing seams or something?
The seams.
I did. It was so fucking long ago, but I'm pretty sure it was something about him. Like trying to play her or whatever, and I'm like, I'll fucking show you these nuts, and he was like, I bet you won't. And so I literally pulled my shorts back and snapped a picture of my ball sack, and I sent it to him. And then he goes, "This is now my background picture for when you call." So every time I call, it's my nut sack, and this is why Mercedes will not answer his phone when I call.
She don't want to see your balls.
Exactly.
The moral of the story is don't ever tell Tuna he won't do something or say, all right, go for it, because he will 1000% do it.
I'm a firm
So-
believer in that.
Just know what you're getting is all I'm saying. If you're good with it, then go for it.
Yep.
Let's see.
I make
We got a
big
new
jokes
viewer.
when it talks about his balls.
Oh,
Oh, Kick Butt. What's going on, Kick? Kick's one of the homies. He's been around for, 3 years now, Kick?
oh, nice.
It's so they can laugh about it every single time, Jay.
The subject has got to. We're going to have a segment every week about my nutsack. And we're just going to have to come up with different. One day I'll tell you all the vasectomy story.
It's
but
that
yet-
time for Tuna's nuts.
But yet you want to know, Cobra says he's not going to come watch the podcast or listen to the podcast because he doesn't want to hear about Tuna's nuts. I'm like, bro, you literally have a picture of him as his call screen and you don't want to come listen to him talk about him? I mean, I'm feeling like an oxymoron here.
I secretly know that Cobra's in the
Something
chat.
Weird.
The bumblebee
I know,
ball.
I feel like
segment.
he's secretly in here too.
Just put the @ symbol in the chat bar and you'll see.
Is he in here?
Nope,
Oh, yeah.
not in there.
I have him.
See?
Oh, yeah. I can see all the names.
That's
I'm gonna go grab a water bottle. Be right back.
Let's see.
Oh, he is. I see him now.
I do not.
Just do COB and then backspace and it'll pop up. It's him and Cam.
I have a number of them in there. I scroll and I can see a bunch. What do you guys think of the overlay? The lack of an overlay. Do you think it looks better?
Yeah. So Jay actually said something about that earlier, bro.
Yeah. What do you say? I missed
I'm scrolling right now.
I like
Just-
it. I think it's
You
less
just
busy.
noted.
it. It's clean,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's
he-
clean.
Yeah, he noted something about that we didn't have socials under it and all
Yeah.
that. And I was going to answer it, but I was going to wait for a little bit of a break. But yeah, go ahead, Skip.
What? Oh, I mean,
why
we
you
can-
did that?
Why did just because if we add a camera or an input, like earlier you guys saw Rebel add his desktop so we could watch that video to it, it doesn't screw up all the cameras. So like with the overlay, I have to cut each camera individually and then move it into its own space, right? So without the overlay, when it's just capturing the Discord window, like you can add a screen to it and it doesn't throw it all off. It still all stays on the screen. It just shifts everybody around. Super easy.
It lights it up, Cam. I think what he's saying is it doesn't say our names, though.
Yeah.
Who it was. It's not the free advertisement.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
I
Cam
mean,
said. Like, you just have to know who's who.
I
we
think,
can
yeah.
make little nameplates.
Well, I think what I could do too is probably just put a timer on Botrix and then just put socials, like Twitter socials or something in it.
Yeah.
Got to set up Botrix first.
I did.
Did we now?
Look at the
Yeah,
chat.
I've seen. It's been.
Oh yeah, I see it now.
popping in there.
Okay, yep.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
Well,
I did
just
it.
every time I see Botrix, I see Mom's name, so it's been kind of screwing me up a little bit because it's the same moderator thing.
Same color on mine too.
You guys
You
totally
could
missed
also.
Peggy Pound Town made an
did.
appearance in the podcast.
Who made an appearance?
Peggy Pound Town.
Pound
Pound Town Peggy.
Oh God.
What's the story? What did I miss on the story of Pound Town Peggy?
Oh my gosh. So Tony TM, you guys know Tony TM?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's fucking hilarious. this
Tony's
guy.
legit.
Yeah, we love Tony.
Love Tony. Good dude. Fucking amazing.
Shit, he's still in a subathon, right?
That guy's just been grinding his ass off. He does fantastic content. Anyway, long story short, he made a tweet about a stream tool or item that you on your wish list that you wanted. You know what I mean? So everybody's putting like, I want an Elgato cam light. You know, I'd like to have a stream deck or all these little streaming tools, streaming gear, right? And I'd love to have a rubber fist so I could fist bump it every time I get a win in COD. And this motherfucker says, hey, I had no idea. I made a post about M&Ms or something like that. And he's like, I'm going to send you a folded up M&M. I'm like, how the fuck do you get a folded up M&M? So I'm like, I got to see this shit. So he's like, I'll send you one. I'm like, cool. So he DMs me on Twitter. I give him my address and he sends it to me. And I'm thinking I'm getting this like inflatable M&M thing or whatever because he's a joker just like me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go on stream on Twitch. I freaking I do an opening when I receive this box. And what do I get? What does he send me? This. A rubber fucking fist.
That's hilarious.
I wonder what kind of store he got that from.
That I now fist bump every time. Not every time, but when I get wins, we fist bump it.
That's hilarious.
You got it from Family Thrift.
Yeah.
Sure.
I tasted it and I smelled it. It's not used.
Party Central. He got it from Party Central.
Yeah. It's
He got
not
it from
used.
Cindy's.
Got it from a
pawn
party. Something.
The Halloween store.
A passion
Clean.
party.
Mhm.
You got it from a Las Vegas pawn shop.
It came from
possible.
Amazon, but yeah. That's what he sent me. This mother.
So it's an incognito box. Got it.
Yeah. No. There's no suction cup on it. But it
Damn.
does stick to stuff.
The way it's shaped, it's almost its own little suction cup.
It stands up on my desk over by my laptop, and I just every once in a while reach over.
So is it concaved?
No, it's flat.
So you
No, it
can't
looked
create
flat.
suction with it.
It looked flat.
But it's like
It might just be sticky.
it's the
I bet
material.
you some 3M tape will fix that for you.
It's the material.
3M tape.
What I wanted to do was I wanted to
Nice.
put it right here on the wall.
So you can turn
So
around
I
and
could,
fist
like-
bump it.
You should put it
Yeah.
on like a mount, like those plaque mounts, like the people put their deer or their turkey feather tails on.
Oh my
Those
God.
Mounts, you should mount it. That'd be dope. Like red velvet behind it.
Dude.
Yeah, but you'd have to mount it to where like the entire stream could see it at all
Yeah.
times, because that would be a good conversation piece.
Yeah,
That's
that's to go where one of the records are.
But yeah,
Yeah.
the problem is you see my walls like kind of full of stuff. So
You could,
Or you could just put it right under the light switch.
I'd have to like jump over and like.
Boom!
Yeah, it was a whole
You can
box
move-
opening, whole hour of box opening.
move the one above the record above the broken one
Mm-hmm.
down below your painting, and then put it right.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I
that
could do
spot.
that. Fill it up, and I can just reach back and be like,
Oh,
Oh yeah, right next to
But
the
you should
camera.
mount it like a deer head,
like put a little plaque around it.
plaque around it. Yeah.
Good ideas, you guys. Good ideas.
oh, I know your game for anything, Jay.
Yeah,
I think it's
that
me.
I think that conversation earlier is a good one for at least
Mhm.
part of it.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
from a teacher's perspective, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I have so many
Yeah.
questions.
Could have Jay
Yeah.
build the mount.
And from my
Yeah, you
perspective too, because I literally part of the reason I pulled my youngest out of school is because of stuff that goes on nowadays. So yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
nice to talk about all that with
I'm
a
gonna
teacher.
ask you which parent you least likely like to deal with.
Oh yeah.
the mom. I bet the mom.
Let's save that one.
No. Which parent of
Yeah.
which student you?
Just start
least
taking
likely to
notes,
deal with?
Jay. We'll have a list of questions for you.
You can't say that stuff.
We can talk
He said he's down for any question.
Whatever we
I mean,
want
he
on
can
this.
say her name is Karen. As long as her name not Karen, it's
True.
okay.
I'm not
True,
gonna.
just don't say that.
Yeah,
I have a certain student, mom named Karen.
we're not gonna use government names of people, so you can look
We'll
them
just call her Karen.
Aaron and Chad, that's it. Code
up.
names.
Chad.
Yeah.
Facts.
And then if he really wants to emphasize it, he'll just say it's Giga Chad.
Super Giga Chad. All the Karens. Yeah.
All the Karens. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, Jay, I'm going to actually send you my number and we can text because that's the easiest way to get a hold of me.
I
You
think
can ask
Tuna
anybody in this Discord call.
I think Tuna has everyone's number in the whole streaming space. I'm pretty sure.
Tuna is a phone number guy. Like that is just
Yeah.
his thing.
The thing about it is I don't pay attention to socials all that much. So like if
either.
if my phone goes off or whatever and I see that it, one of the other banners besides text, I ignore it and then I may get to it 10 hours later. But if it's a text, I always look at my text. Like even if I'm in a meeting, I will look at my text no matter what, and
Yep.
Even Ashley and the kids, they also know like, hey, don't call me during work, unless it's something like crazy.
Yeah.
Now Ashley knows when my meetings, and most of the time she knows when my meetings and all that stuff are, or I'll tell her that it's coming and she'll text me, but if I know that she calls, I probably need to bounce out of that meeting because something's up.
Or I'll call, and if he doesn't answer, if it's an emergency,
She'll call
I'll text,
right again.
or I'll text and say,
Yeah.
like on Friday, whenever I called and he didn't answer at first, I was about to message him 911, but he called me right back.
What would we do if we didn't have cell phones right now?
Gosh, I know.
We'd still have landlines
Right.
True.
because I know we don't have a landline anymore.
My cell doesn't work when I'm in my office. There's literally like one bar and it rarely works. So I have to. That's why when you texted me one day, I got your text because I walked up to the front of the building and I saw it and I'm like, what the hell? That's why I texted you. Like, call me on my office number.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I was like, I even have Skep's office number.
He does. He has my number to my office desk.
It's so weird whenever I call him and he answers by his rank and all that stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Skep. And he's like, oh.
I don't know who it is. I have to answer it that way.
Yeah, I know.
Wait. I'm looking for Skeptile. Is Skeptile there?
Hey, you can't deny the voice. When he picks up, you can't deny the voice.
Do I sound the same on the phone? Just shittier?
No, you sound the same.
Shittier.
I mean,
No.
it's, there's not a lot of, the acoustics on the phone are horrible, but I can still make out your voice. So.
No, my office is poor. So I get an analog phone, which does not have caller ID.
See, we got VoIP phones. What are you talking about, bro? Up your budget. Let's go. VoIP
Yeah.
phones are legit.
We
Fucking
spent all our
Air Force.
money on
Jesus
ships.
Christ.
Who has a different
I
work
thought-
voice? I'm literally the same guy.
I think
here,
I do.
There,
Ashley does.
everywhere.
Ashley has a different phone voice.
Oh, you do?
Oh,
All
yeah.
females
Let's get a
have-
sample.
And when I'm talking to like clients and stuff, I think I sound different, maybe.
Oh, well, we need a sample. How does she sound?
Oh.
What is it?
So
do you
whenever
sound?
I don't know.
she's more like,
Chipper.
oh, hey, I love my job.
I do love my job.
I'm talking about whenever you were the exec and I'd call you for something
Oh, that's
or whatever, she'd be like I could tell it was fake, but not really too
nobody
many
else
people
could.
She
I
had
have
the
a
customer
great
service
customer
voice.
service voice.
Yeah, it was.
I feel like
I
you
think
would.
that's a female thing. Like all females have that on the phone
It's true.
professional voice.
Well,
And I did it for many, many years too, so it's kind of in my nature.
here's what so Ash, you don't have the new annoying voice. You have a pleasant voice to listen to, right? What I'm talking about by annoying voice is and I'm not saying this is not a misogynistic thing. I'm just saying that a lot of women use a valley speak type of tone.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
They do a growl in their voice, which is very unnatural sounding because it's generally a lower tone, lower octave voice that will do like a raspy sound, like generally. And then there's like the uplift at the end. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, hi.
It's like a crescendo.
Hi. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
Where
I
it's
don't
really
really get
hard
that
to listen to.
excited about talking to people enough to do that. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, I love my job. You know, I feel like I'm like a super friendly person when I'm talking to like my clients and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
But I don't like change. Like I still sound like a country bumpkin. I mean, there's no getting rid of that. You know.
I feel
You're
like
such
that,
a redneck.
like with the southern accents, more like people are more comfortable around. You know, it's inviting more than like say a New Yorker accent, or you know what I mean, or just no accent at all. I think people feel more comfortable around
I
it.
get a lot of comments about like my accent, number one, and two, I get pretty, you know, in my questionnaires that I do after I work with clients. Obviously, one of the questions I ask is, you know, what made you decide to ultimately work with me? And 99% of them are like, after I got off a phone call with you. Like the call is what, you know, after actually talking to me is what kind of sold them to work with me. So
Yeah.
Well, but I honestly think though, babe, like a lot of your accent, like the thickness of it kind of goes away in your customer service voice.
I don't.
I really think it does because you're very well spoken, you know, and you know when to put in those little one-liners once you get a feel for those people, you know.
I think go ahead.
Until I walk on the camera and then everything goes out the fucking window because I just fuck it all up.
So I think when I get really excited, it all kind of goes out the window though. So like even with my girlfriends, like my work girlfriends, I'll send them a voice memo or something if I'm really excited. And sometimes one of them will come back because one's from California and one's from like Georgia. And Hannah, sometimes she's like, oh my gosh, Ashley, your accent in that voice memo is just like really, really thick. And I'll go back and listen and I sound like a damn pan of cornbread, man. Like
there it is.
Ridiculous.
All right, babe,
But I
hold on.
Cam didn't have like a southern Georgia voice, really.
No,
I didn't
hers is not
notice.
that thick, Georgia.
It's not a super
not that
thick,
Georgia.
deep South
I
accent.
didn't think so.
No, babe. Say, what do you do every 5,000 miles in the car?
You change your oil.
It's all
Okay, but do you want to know why? Okay,
What color are you? What color are you?
I'm white.
white.
Here's my rationalization for the oil, though, right? Why would you bother going through all the trouble to say oil when you can just say oil? It's efficient. It's so much more efficient to just say oil.
And here comes the South.
Or fixing to.
It's one less
Fixing
syllable.
to. Why
Fixing to.
bother saying fixing to when you just say fix? My old commander, okay, funny story. My wing commander, whenever I was the exec in Misawa, the first time he heard me say, because I'd be talking to him and he'd be like, you know, did you do this? And I'm like, oh, I'm fixing to do that. And he'd be like, you're what? this 06. He was like,
They don't
he thought
understand.
he thought it was the funniest thing ever. He just kind of giggled about it, you know, because he was like fixing, you know, he just thought it was funny because it's just the way I talk. It's my accent, you know, or not my accent even. It's just how I grew up, you know. But yeah.
That's what I love about the military, man. You get people from everywhere and you just learn about everywhere, everyone from everywhere, countries, states, wherever. It's amazing. There's no other place you can have a barbecue, have grilled chicken, pancit, lumpia, fucking sushi.
Wow.
Like,
That is so true.
This is all the shit.
Potlucks
It's at a
are
potluck.
crazy.
It's fucking, they're amazing.
Bro, I hate potlucks.
And the military potlucks are the best.
Yeah, but it's so much work because everybody's like, "Oh, hey, can we get your gumbo?" And I'm like, "God damn it!"
That's
Like,
what I'm saying.
Can I have the day off?
You make gumbo. This guy makes
I need
tacos. This dude makes pancit and lumpia, and this guy makes bulgogi. Like, it's just, the food is just fucking amazing. It's amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, in Japan, that was like the thing because in Japan it's all broth based, right? So they're like, oh, this is a broth. I'm like, no, motherfucker, it's a roux. And I'm like, hey, can you bring your gumbo? And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And so I'd go to my boss. I'm like, hey, bro, I need the day off. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because I'm making gumbo. And he's like, yep, okay, you're good. And I'm like, damn it, why could you just say no for once?
Worth it.
I mean, you need the day off just to find the ingredients in Japan, wouldn't you?
So I actually did really good trying to find it. So I didn't make my own roux when I was in Japan. My aunt would actually keep a constant supply of it, and she would ship an already
A jar that you.
a jar.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So, and I mean, and it's not bad, because roux is just freaking
Roux's a pain in the ass.
yeah, just flour, water, and fucking oil and some seasoning,
Yeah.
So it's how you season the gumbo really to actually make it better.
And all the
exactly.
all
Mom.
the
That's exactly what
stick-ons
it is.
on the pan. That part of the roux as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, so I mean, it's one of those things like, and I like a pseudo dark roux when it comes to my gumbo. So, and that stuff was perfect. So I was like,
If he likes
That
it
saves
dark,
some
I don't know
time.
how he ended up with me.
What's a staple in everyone's like state? Like the staple food that the state is known for.
fucking crawfish.
Brisket, barbecue brisket.
I would say Texas would be like barbecue.
Buffet. The buffet.
No, it's not. It's cocaine.
Crab legs, buffet crab legs.
Oh my god.
The buffet. That's the staple food here in Nevada.
Wog.
The buffet.
The buffet of prostitutes.
Mhm.
Wog's never had gumbo.
I think in Washington, for me, it's salmon. Like
Yeah,
grilled,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
either grilled or
Salmon,
blackened salmon.
Crab.
Or
Crab,
coffee.
Dungeness crab, yeah. Coffee.
Yeah, crab is big up there.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
There's no coffee better on earth than in Washington and probably some of Oregon.
That's
Okay, now we
insane.
need to go to Washington because we need to test that theory.
I mean, Skep's
Yeah.
house is big enough.
You guys, my door is 100% open to you guys.
We should do that.
100%.
I'm gonna hit all the seafood places and
Yeah.
drink coffee.
Salmon, yeah. I have there's literally a coffee fucking shack. They're everywhere. They're amazing.
Interesting.
I'm in the Pacific Northwest, Jay. I'm in Washington State, up on Whidbey Island. Yeah. It's connected by a bridge to the mainland, and then the only other way off is by airplane or ferry. It's pretty fucking sweet.
Jay said so.
And that's
the
like your
6 to 8 hours
retirement
time.
home, right, Skep? Didn't y'all? That's because y'all were just
Yeah.
buying or building that when you were in Japan, right?
Yeah, so no, I had my other house. We were looking. This one was a new build in a neighborhood we
Okay.
tried to get into. We'd put an offer on before in a different lot to have the builder put up a new house for us. It fell through because the neighboring person that bought the lot next to us was a real he's an interesting cat. He's currently
He's a douchebag.
building.
I'll translate.
He has still building his like $4 million house down the road. It's literally
Jesus.
3 stories high. Is fucking just crazy. I'll have to show you guys a picture of it sometime, but it's ridiculous. So
So basically, what I heard out of that is Skep is rich. Got it. I'll take 2 plane tickets, and we'll be there next week.
I mean, he is an E9.
I still
Make him be
You
a.
need a live-in gardener.
I don't
I'm young enough. You can
make
still
a
adopt
lot
me.
of money in the military. Okay, you know this.
Yeah.
You do when you're E9 making Washington BH.
My BH is
And-
not that much, dude. Not compared to
And
like
you
other
gotta-
places.
You got a sugar mama too.
This is true.
He does have a sugar mama. That's how what
So-
it really comes down to.
So, yeah, we got the house. This one popped up like, wow, it fell through. We're like, shit. So this one popped up on like Zillow, and I'm just looking, and I was like, it popped up like 1 hour prior, was just posted. I'm like, we got to go look at this house. It's in the same neighborhood. We need to go look at it. It has, it's just under an acre. It has panoramic ocean views. and it's a pretty big house. It's 3,000 square feet. And it has a daylight basement. The whole one side of the house is all windows. It's fucking nuts. So we went and looked at it and put an offer in that day, and the builder knew that our deal fell through on the other lot. So out of all the offers he had, he took ours because he knew that we were trying to get a place there, and it was going to be our spot like forever. So, but yeah, so right now we're just, this is the spot. You know what I mean?
I can't wait for that. I'm excited for that one day.
Yeah.
Like build a house we actually want, and I'd love to like either be near water or mountains or something. And I want a back porch that I actually want to go sit on.
I will tell you what, if you guys like, so I'm kind of like, I don't want to say numb to it right now, but I will tell you that after looking
Hogwarts.
After looking at it every day, all the time, it's hard to be as ecstatic to see it. Yeah. But when you bring somebody by who hasn't seen it, they're like, holy shit. And that excitement, like you relive that excitement. You know what I mean? It's like if you've gone to Disneyland like 50 times, you're like, oh, it's Disneyland. But someone who's gone for the first time, you're like, oh, they're just in awe. You know what I mean?
And I feel like we go through as like.
That's from my island in my kitchen.
Yeah, go look on his Twitter. He posted that one.
Oh, yeah. I need to go look.
Anyway, I was sitting there it's like eating chips and like I was like, this is fucking beautiful. Every once in a while, you have to.
It hits you.
Yeah, every once in a while I look out and I'm like, God, it's fucking just amazing. It's definitely calming, and sitting out on the deck and just chilling out, drinking coffee is just. It's like meditation.
That's what I'm looking forward to one day. And I feel like we as military people, especially like long-term military people that move, for over 20 years, right? Like we don't have that. Nothing's permanent. Everything's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you have a nice house in the meantime, it's still not like
home,
So like I'm still waiting on that. Like, so that's another reason why every time he talks about like staying here, I'm like, no, like after 20 years, like I am ready to like, I want a porch that I want to go sit on and drink coffee. I don't have that, I want that so bad one day.
It's definitely like a lifelong thing. You know what I mean? You work your life for stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Well, and we're fortunate too, because I think, if as long as you at least attempted to be responsible, then military people have that opportunity at a lot younger age than a lot of other people.
Yeah, you can do well if you just do smart things. You don't have to be smart all the time, but most of the time, if you're smart, like you can do well. Not as well as a lot of people can do. I mean, but you can do well and be comfortable.
And see, we should have. That's one thing we should have done when I was in the military. See, when I joined, I fully anticipated doing 20. I mean, I was 28 years old. I had already switched my career like 3 times. I was like, this is it, right? So, I was in 03 when I got out. I was in 03. He's an E6. And we made more money than we knew what to do with for people our age. Like, we could.
Oh yeah, dual mill income.
Yeah, I mean, we were making really good money.
It's very comfortable.
But because we expected to live that way for a really long time, we didn't necessarily like put a lot of effort into like saving or not being spontaneous when we wanted to spend money. Like if we wanted 2 65-inch TVs and 2 brand new Xboxes, we went and bought them. It was like, And then after I separated after 5 years to start a business, now I'm like, damn. We're not really balling anymore. It's not quite the same. So it'll be a while before I can build a house, but because when you're a business owner, you have to have you have to jump through extra hoops to like prove your income, all that junk, to be able to get a loan and all that stuff. So
I know Rebel. What? How many acres did you guys just pick up? Like 20 something?
29 and a quarter.
That's
so
awesome,
crazy.
dude.
It's a lot.
29 and a quarter, and they're gonna build a house with a 3 sides wraparound porch.
Like a farmhouse style.
Yeah, and then
Ah, dude.
Love it.
she wanted all the way around, but then you can't put your central AC
Yeah.
and sit on that side of the porch. So might as well not even you save the money and not even have the porch on
Yeah.
it.
Jay, are you a communist? Is that what you're saying?
See,
Commune.
I
That's
would
where
like that
communists
as a
live.
family commune because I'm gonna be living on that property with them as well.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that makes sense. Family is different.
Like
Yeah,
I
but that would be
honestly,
awesome.
I just want to go pack up and like fuck building a house here. I would 1000% pack up when he retired and just move to like Spain
Yeah.
and just retire there in a condo on the beach or something like
Rico.
that. Done.
I don't want to live in a different country.
Oh, I do. I absolutely. America is just. America has now become a place I would rather visit.
Mhm.
Do Puerto Rico. You still get
Right.
like all the benefits of being with America, but the taxes are way cheaper, land's better,
Yeah.
their own laws.
So Portugal, Spain actually has a lot of benefits for
Mhm.
expats. They like highly encourage expats, and you can do like dual citizenship. There's a lot like because we've looked into going to like Spain after like and return there because the problem is it's becoming like a lot of those expat countries where it's getting you have to find cities that aren't overrun with expats at this point because a lot of people are doing it. So and it's a really popular place to go. So I'd like to over the next couple of years visit a couple more of these places and kind of choose from there. 'Cause like we know we love Mexico. We did Mexico. We know we love Thailand. I'd love to
Thailand's
go to
beautiful.
Bali. Oh my God, I would love. I'm still waiting for him to take me back.
Thailand
been
is
to America.
beautiful. Yeah.
Love
Yes.
Thailand. Maybe
That's
for
the only
our
country I've been to.
maybe for our 20-year anniversary or something.
That's where me and the wife are going for our 20-year anniversary.
She got so
Bali.
loud I could actually hear her.
We're going to Bali for our 20th anniversary.
Is he taking a dump? He might be.
Please tell me. I want to go to Bali so
Still
bad.
got like 2 years, but
Hey, there you go.
That's us.
2
When's your
years.
anniversary?
What day is today?
It's 2023,
days?
bro.
In like 6 days.
Oh,
And it's your
shoot.
18 year?
Yep.
Happy
Okay, so ours is
anniversary.
on the 28th of this month, and it is also our 18 year.
Gosh, dang! Happy anniversary.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's a
I keep
long
telling
time.
him he's got to make a honest woman out of me and actually marry me one day. Like, not at a courthouse.
I get it. What you're saying. It sounded funny too.
Like have an actual wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, an actual wedding. Yeah, we did
You
not
can
have a
have
wedding.
it. You can have it at my house if you want.
Oh, that'd be awesome. We should do that.
In Washington. We'll all
Yeah.
come up.
Hell yeah.
We'll have a party.
I would do it.
Totally do that.
That was the worst part of like being a web designer so I work with a lot of like wedding photographers and stuff. So like every time I go through because I have to go through their, their albums and stuff like that to pick images for their websites and stuff. And I'm always like, like going through all their albums because they're all so pretty and nice. And I was like, we never did that. Like we literally got married, moved into a house together, and then both went back to work the next day. I was working at Sonic and he was working at Best Buy. And it was just so. And then a month later, he left for basic training.
I feel like 20 is like the good year to do that, right? That's like a nice round number,
Yeah. Yeah, 14
Tuna, you
years
hear
is when
that?
we finally took our honeymoon. Yeah, hopefully he's listening. Yeah. 20 years, maybe.
That's wild. That's a long time. Like
It is.
20 years is
Crazy.
a long time.
And our oldest daughter graduates from high school the same year. Nuts.
05, Jay? Wow.
Shit. My son will be a
Same.
senior. My son will be a senior this next year. Coming up.
Yep, ours is starting her junior year.
And my daughter will be a freshman this coming year.
Isn't that so sad when they start their freshman year?
No, I just think, only 4 more to go.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm the parent going, like, I have my oldest child is like, she can't wait to like move out and be independent. And like, she's wanting to pay for her own things. And I'm still like, let me pay your cell phone bill. I'm like, I'm not ready. Like, you don't have to leave as soon as you turn 18, you know?
Mine has her room as long as she wants. She's going to college, school, whatever. Like, I'm like, I just tell them, like, save your money. You know, you're getting my GI Bill, so there's that for you to do school with, and like save your money up. So,
and see, we've got Tuna's GI Bills for the girls because I have a GI Bill, but I can't pass mine on because I didn't do enough years. But but he can, and I'm like, if Piper doesn't go to college, then JC can use it or whatever. But I'm like, as long as like after she turns 18, even if she's not in school, as long as she's like contributing and
oh yeah,
I have no problems with her staying here.
Yeah, some responsibilities and things like bills. Nothing crazy, but obviously just something to feel that amount of responsibility.
Yeah, because she's lucky right now that like we didn't at 16. She did not have to get a job. She wanted to get a job, and I was like, that's fine. I mean, if you want to get a job, that's fine. But she's fortunate that she doesn't like. She's in a different situation than her girlfriend because like her girlfriend works to pay her own bills. Like at 15, she was paying her own cell phone bill and buying her own like toiletries. I mean, all kinds of stuff. So I'm like, Piper's fortunate that she's not in that situation, and I don't think she realizes it yet, or she doesn't fully appreciate that yet. Because she'll complain about something or whatever, and then like there was one day I thought this was so funny. There's one day she was like, she overslept. She stayed at her girlfriend's house and she overslept, and so she was going to be late for work, so she just called in. And I was like, well, just so you know, from a former employer, it doesn't set a good precedent. Just because you're going to be late calling in doesn't really help your situation or anything. She's like, I know, I'm not going to do it. But I was like, I'm not going to be that parent that tells my kid that she can't stay at a friend's house over the weekend because she might be late for work, because she doesn't have to have that job. It is her responsibility to keep that job, and if she gets fired, that's on her. Like, I mean,
tough lesson learned.
Yeah, she can't go and do things.
She can't go and do things, like I don't pay for her gas unless I use her car. So I'm like, if she wants to be able to go places and do things and eat out and all the stuff, she's got to figure out how to keep a job. I'm not going to force her to do that like I do school, because, school's something she needs to do to check the box or whatever. But having a job at 16, that's just fun money and learning responsibility. So like, I told some people were like, aren't you going to like, make sure she goes to bed at a certain time? I'm like, fuck no. She wanted that job. She can, if she wants to keep that job, then she's gonna have. Now, will I give her advice? Sure, I'll let her know. Like, hey, I don't think that was a really good idea, but you know what? That's your job, and if you lose it, that's on you. So, no.
I had a job at 16. I worked till 10 o'clock every night and went to school in the morning.
Like 3 jobs at like 17. I had 3 jobs, and I was living on my own by the time I turned 18. So, like, I had to figure that shit out for myself. I was paying all my own stuff.
Yeah,
I helped.
I worked at a junkyard when I was 14, and then summer job stuff, and then when I was 16, I was working in restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I worked in restaurants.
Worked restaurant, dishwashing,
that's my first job.
Prep cook, line cook after a while.
I was a hostess.
Got my driving permit when I was 14, farmer permit. So, yeah, it was crazy.
I've had more different summer jobs than people have jobs
I did some
in
farming.
their life.
Yeah. I did some farming. Used to drive a Ford Versatile and plow and cut wheat. So.
Yeah, she wanted to get a job when she was 15. She kept begging us, I want to get a job. I want to get a job. I'm like, you can wait until you turn 16. She's like, but I want to get a job now. I want to start paying for my own stuff. And I'm like, the only thing I ask is you wait until you turn 16. And there was one particular time, it was the summer before. It was literally her last summer as a 15-year-old. And I was like, go to your grandparents' house, go visit your aunts and uncles and see your cousins. This is, if you really want to start working at 16, which you can do that as long as your grades are good and all, all the things. I was like, you're going to wish that you had taken advantage of this last summer, because once you get a job, then you are then tied down by that job. And if you want to take time off, you have to rely on them letting you take time off and all that stuff. So she wasn't super happy with us about it, but she survived, and just less than a year later, she turned 16 and she got a job. So, and then she wanted 2 jobs. And I was like, you can work 2 jobs over the summer, not during the school year, but so she's just my little independent kid, but I did that, but I had to, because I moved out early, it was a different situation for me. She doesn't have to, like, that it is purely for her to be able to do extra things if she wants to.
Yeah.
And pay her own gas.
Mine, Erilyn, she does like pet sitting and stuff. That's what she does to get her scratch, that she does.
She did babysitting before when she was too young to have an actual job. She did the babysitting stuff.
Well, and I mean, she's even, with the cars and all that stuff. She's like, Dad, I need windshield wiper fluid. What do I need? And I'm like, how much was it? She goes, I got it. And then whenever it came to, so they ended up giving us the wrong oil filters the last time I went over there. And so she went and bought her own oil filter. So she, to me, the way that I look at it is, some people are like, why are you doing that to your kid? And I'm like, well, she's learning a lesson. Like the whole going to bed. Like, she didn't have a bedtime before school. If she doesn't make it to school, guess what? She fails out. That's her future. The only thing we're going to do is tell her, hey, you need to go to bed. Otherwise, you're not going to get up.
I would say,
and she has always gotten up.
Well, making her go to school is something I have a different stance on. Like, that's one of the things where she gets in trouble,
But she's never dipped without it's one of those things, like,
she's
it never interfered.
She's overslept, but
I would
school's
say
different.
That's where I'm at with Erilyn, is like, we teach the I don't want to call it repetition, but the just habit, like building the good habit, you know what I mean? Of going to bed at a reasonable hour, getting up on time, getting to school, that kind of thing, making sure homework's done before everything else. And just the habit of like, hey, it's Sunday, you got these chores, the habit of it without having to like remind or repeat. Yeah. Or nag. I don't want to be a naggy parent. I don't want to do that. But
we still have to nag her.
She just does her thing
for chores and stuff. But we were never like consistent with chores either. It was mostly like whatever is her responsibility is like her rats. I don't clean her rat for her. That's and she chose at like, I think she was like 13 or something, and she was like, I'm just going to start doing my own laundry, because she didn't want to have to bring her laundry down whenever on the weekends whenever I would say, hey, I need your laundry. She's like, I don't want to do it right now. So she was like, I'm just going to do my own laundry. And I'm like, okay, fine. So she's been doing her own laundry for years, the way I see it, as far as like going to school and stuff, I'm like, here's my deal, right? You will get up and you will go to school and you will pass and you will do the things you need to check the boxes, right? So if you want to stay up until 3:00 in the morning and be tired as fuck when you're at school the next day, that's on you. I have that is, if you want to put yourself through that, go for it. The only thing I'm telling you is you will go. Now, what state you're in when you're there, not my problem, but you will go.
I mean, all of us here have learned the very valuable lesson of sleep is a very mighty thing. Like,
but
I've
you
gone
don't
to
learn
bed
that until it's not socially acceptable enough to take naps.
Yep.
Well, I mean, shit, when I worked for Best Buy, dude, we'd go out and fucking party like crazy. Because her and I were actually living our own at that time. I think we stayed up to like 2:30 in the morning, and I was working at Best Buy, and they needed we had to do a all hands on deck meeting at 6:30 in the morning. And I like got the shower. That was good. Step number 1. I got to work or whatever, and like they had, in the home theater area, they always have that couch set up so you can hear it. And I was racked the fuck back out on that motherfucker right after that meeting when we opened. And the manager's looking at me like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh shit, I might get fired if I don't fuck around. If I fuck around too much.
Yeah, she'll come home and tell me about how she fell asleep in class or whatever. And I'm, as long as you pass, I don't care. It is do whatever you got to do to pass. and everything else is just a consequence on you. So I'm like, it's different than whenever I grew up because, like my grandfather was the kind of guy, like he was, back in the days of like we were talking about landlines, right? He would literally go unplug the phone from my bedroom and take it into his bedroom at night. And, had like.
See, she was 15, so I watched PG-13 movies.
Yeah, I was very sheltered. But yeah, I was very structured and but I feel like I think our generation could handle that. I feel like there's a lot of kids in their generation now that if we don't teach them those lessons now, when they leave, they're going to be like, what the fuck? I don't have anybody to wake me up. I don't have anybody because I felt bad. I had a lot of mom guilt about that. Like, I don't get up in the morning and make their lunches and send them off to school and make sure they get out of bed. I'm like, fuck that. Like, she is old enough to do that shit herself.
Yeah. I'm gonna. You guys want to take like 2 minutes, real quick? I'm gonna take like 2 minutes. I'm gonna go grab a drink.
Yeah.
And then
I already took my 10 minutes. So.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, he couldn't wait.
I'm just gonna. I'm gonna try to use this as like a middle point, and then cut the broadcast in half, so I can do like part 1, part 2.
Yep.
We can go back through chat in the meantime.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
I'll be right back.